Hey Cancer, it's Amanda. I'm here to do your April love reading for 2019. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of April, even maybe your Venus, if it's in Cancer. This would may resonate with you as well. So what is going on for Cancer and love? April 2019, what energies are coming up for Cancer when it comes to love for April 2019? Alright, I think I'm going to do a soulmate spread. So the first four I'll pull here will be your heart space, your energy, Cancer. You know, how you're feeling and, you know, your energies in your space. And then we will do towards the end another four below it to do the same for your love interest, their heart space, how they're feeling, what they're dealing with, all that good stuff. So first of all, we have the Hermit and the King of Swords in the reverse for you, Cancer. So maybe you're feeling like you are kind of taking an isolation, doing some soul searching, kind of taking a step away from everything and looking for some sort of soul searching, you know, like some inner wisdom through introspection. And then we have the King of Swords. So it's like, it could be about an air sign, or it could be because something that an air sign said to you. So that would be Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and then the Devil in reverse. Okay, so it's some toxic energy is kind of fading out for you. So this could be just bad energy, negative thoughts, just kind of a funk you were in, or it literally could be that you are fading that energy, that toxic energy out by going into the Hermit mode. That was brought upon by this King of Swords in the reverse. So I'm not sure if that's somebody, but we'll kind of see. It'll come together soon, but something about that caused it. And then the World. Okay, so this was something that was kind of, this is a bigger life event. And it looks like you're going to successfully complete the cycle this time, so you don't have to repeat. So this is progress. This is good. So Hermit, this was the finding the darkness, or finding the light through the darkness. He's holding the lantern. You know, he's going on a journey of solitude and introspection to find that divine wisdom, right? To find that inner knowing that that you find when you look deep inside of yourself and then look deep outside around you, and do like an inventory. So that's what that energy looks like. We have the King of Swords in reverse. Here's it in the upright. But when it came out, it was like this. So it's like the King of Swords is kind of like coming towards this Hermit, right? So it's almost like as if it was triggered by that. But it seems to be divine timing. It might not feel good like right now about that, but it's something that was necessary, so it had to happen. So it might not feel like the best energy right now, but for some reason in the long run, it's for the betterment of all, and for you, and definitely something that's in your soul contract. Okay, so this is success. This is achievement. This is getting this is like soul contracts that you come into this world with, and things that you wanted to do in this lifetime. This is getting one of those off the list, successfully done. And usually with the World, this is something that you most times wouldn't have just done one cycle of. This is something that could have been done in a different way or shade before, but this time around, it is going to be completed, and you are going to get the lesson learned out of this one. So that's good. And so it was like this communication or thought or news or conversation that happens, and it causes you to go into the Hermit mode, and it has something to do with fading out some toxic energy, right? So this could even be like alcohol. This could be like any habit that you consider not good for you, whether it's overeating or, anything like that. It could just be like getting caught up in the negativity around you or drama or whatever, but anything toxic, it's fading out. This is a major arcana. This is a major arcana, and this is a major arcana. So we have big things going on in April, Cancer. On the bottom of the deck, we had the Star in reverse. So this is about finding like forgiveness for yourself, for others, following that star of inner knowing that you have. And I feel like by doing this, it did come out in the reverse. So I feel like the overall energy is that you aren't confident 100% with that inner knowing which way that star is so that you can go towards it. And I think that's why you're going into this hermit mode here. Because you can sense that like an alignment. It's not an alignment. You know that, like you have a sense for that. And so you are reacting well and you're doing the work to get through this lesson, and you're trying to find the lesson in this hardship, which is hard to do most of the time because like anytime there's a lesson going on, it never feels good at all. And it's really hard to step back from that and be like, okay, what is the lesson in this for me? Why is this happening? It isn't because you're bad or because, everything's out to get you or you're a victim or it was unfair. No, it doesn't, especially the hard things. Those are there to teach you something. So if you are able to consciously see that as it's happening through this pattern, like it looks like you are, and be like, wait, hold on. What is the lesson here? Why is this happening again? And you're finding that through introspection. So that is really cool. And I don't know if maybe your partner or love interest could possibly be the sword character, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, but it's like the Knights, they want to like initiate change in a communication. With the swords, it's like communication or by sharing information, or maybe just like some nasty things that come your way. Like maybe somebody just wasn't in alignment and like poured some negativity onto you, and it really made you feel like, okay, this feeling triggered me, why? And so you do the hermit, right? Which is all good. I mean, that's how you should react to anything like that, because there is a lesson, especially if it's hard. But, it's not always easy to feel that way. So what is going on for Cancer's love interest, soulmate, twin flame? What is their heart energy looking like, and what energies are around them at this time? So the Ace of Swords and the Four of Pentacles come out. So I feel like they are the swords person, because Ace of Swords, it's like a tough conversation that was kind of like initiated. It's a very beginning of like something like it's that like really hard conversation that like you might be avoiding, or that you kind of tiptoed around, but you kind of knew you needed to have it at some point. Or it is just this new information coming in. And I really feel like it, because this one's pointing up to the Hermit, and then this one is like pointing backwards to it in the reverse. So it was something that was kind of impulsively reactive, like some sort of communication, information, or thoughts that came in that didn't settle well, and they kind of were not in alignment themselves, like whether they were triggered, if it was a conversation or whatever it was. Like it wasn't, like this person wasn't thinking it through and probably didn't mean it in that way, but it's like whatever it was, because in the reverse, the swords is like kind of nasty and bitter. In the upright, it's very good at communicating and very smart with their words and considerate and logical but intellectual and very keen to like communications and any sort of information, stuff like that. Very, very good at that. But it's like in the reverse, it's kind of like the not good at communication, or like not thinking what you had to say through before you said it because you were triggered and it struck a nerve, and so you said something nasty really quick and you're like, hold on, that I didn't really mean that way or whatever. That's like a reverse sword. And it's like somebody wants to initiate change, but they say it in a nasty way, or there's news that comes in that wants to initiate change and it doesn't feel good. So for your partner, it's that Ace of Swords. So I feel like they're the one that comes at you with either this news, information, or conversation. Four of Pentacles. This is the energy of holding on to something in a way, in like a lack mentality. See how he has like all limbs on one of those coins and he's like balancing over this pile of gold. He's like covering it at all costs. Like he is not trusting the universe. Like he is thinking that somebody's going to come steal his gold and that it's going to be taken away. It's like a lack mentality. A lot of times, not here necessarily, but it could be like just being stingy or cheap with your money because you're worried of being broke, or just being greedy and not wanting to help others because you're like, I want to hoard everything. But with this, I feel like it's beliefs, because all these swords and right after the ace, this is some sort of stubborn belief or thing that this person is holding on to, that they aren't budging yet. They might not even be seeing this, but they are just not going to open up and be like open-minded about this. And I think that's why they came out in the reverse. I'll come back to that. Let's keep going. Let's get the other two cards. Cancer, soulmates, love interest, April 2019. What else is going on with their love interest? For Cancer, soulmate or love interest, twin flame. King of Swords in the upright and the Empress. Okay. So it's like once this negative energy starts to fade out when you go in the hermit mode, I feel like your reaction to how you handle this is going to be what turns it around, because this person's coming at you in a really defensive, tight grip state of like clenching, like survival mode, like really like defensive. And they're coming with this conversation or information, maybe a heated talk or whatever, and then you kind of step back, do the mature thing, because you probably, it looks like to me you've been doing the work, doing your like soul work, and you're seeing your cycle and you're taking that step to introspect. And I think the way that they react to this is like all of a sudden this king is in the upright. Maybe you help them by just doing what you're supposed to be doing and handling like this in a mature way, because like you did what you needed to do to this in this situation, and you took a step back because you kind of knew this was important, and you fade that toxic energy out. And that's like exactly what you were supposed to do here. It's like you guys got all this stuff off your chest with this heated conversation, and like this time when you were involved with it, this time, you did what you were supposed to do, and you didn't let yourself be triggered by their trigger. Because, like, they come at you defensive, and you don't let yourself stoop to that in a way. And you fade, you do what you need to do to dissolve that, like, toxicity. And this is what you were supposed to do here. This was this lesson, the world. So, major life event, major life lesson, soul contract, success, fulfillment. Coming full circle, full cycle, completing it this time, and this time it doesn't have to repeat because you got the lesson. And it helps your partner. It brings the sword up right, and not only the knight, but now it's the king. So now this person is like, it's like you're teaching your person like how to communicate well, because I feel like by them seeing this reaction in you, like it matures them. And it teaches something that you couldn't teach directly. Like if you tried to say something like this or teach it, yeah, they might, receive some of that and be open to it if it was not during this heated conversation. But like the way that you just did it spoke for itself. Like you taught them in a subtle way without realizing like how effective it is when somebody does that to you when they're heated, like how effective that maturity really is. And how it doesn't feed the fire, and like you don't like down like your vibration to match theirs when they react to you, because it does upset you enough to go into hermit mode. And this is a big enough deal with the world, but it's like by doing this time, it's like you switched up that energy and you broke that cycle, and you broke the chains from the devil, right? Like you got out of that with and now your partner, it's rubbing off on them too. And then we have the Empress. So the Empress is like, the Empress, she knows what she wants and how to get it. And she manifests this energetically. Like, she's the one who energetically manifests the tangible steps. She doesn't make them, but she starts them. She initiates them, right? And she holds them and puts them into a way that like is easily received in like a grounded way. So it's not like forced or harsh. It's like, oh, that reaction wasn't expected. Like, and they see how effective it was because they're realizing how it felt to be on the receiving end of that. And I think that they're learning and picking up on that here with the Empress. And it's a win-win so far. And then we have the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck here. This is for both. And Two of Wands is like having to make the next step. You have the two, and then you're kind of thinking about making that next step. But you are kind of tossing up two choices, but you kind of know which one you're going to take. If you can kind of see, he's not really stuck on this bench, and he's looking at this birdie. He's not freaking out. He doesn't think he's stuck, and he's facing one way really, but he's kind of just dragging his heels. And, you know, he's like, oh, I don't know, you know, I just want to make sure. I'm looking around, playing around with it, but he knows which way he's going to go, and he's not stuck. He can get up. So it's like that wanting to go forth, but that like hesitation. And I think that's what happens. It's like, you know, all that hesitation, it pents up, and then you finally have this conversation with your love interest here, and it comes out in a way that you didn't want it to because you kind of hesitated too long. But hey, in this situation, that's just what needed to happen. So that's a perfect example of how something that doesn't feel good can actually be a really good thing. You just don't see it, how it unfolds the future. Because with this World card, I mean, these are major arcanas up here, and then your soulmate has the King of Swords in the upright right after the negative toxic energies dissolved. So this is good. I mean, not only did you complete a soul contract here, but your partner is growing because of you. And I don't think that you intended that. It just happened because you were doing your work. See, like energy ripple effects. So just by seeing that happen without it being like given in a direct way, like you trying to explain that, or you might not even, obviously you just learned this too. This is your first cycle, completing this in the best way. I want to pull a card for, I want to know what is going on with this Ace of Swords. Oh, okay. So the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. So there is like a drive for inner security here. Like a passion for this inner security. And I think that's why they're coming off as the polarity of it. Because inner security, the Queen of Pentacles, she is about security and feeling grounded and feeling safe and feeling like self-confident, like secure in yourself internally. It's all internal securities, all internal safeties, all internal structures. Right? Stable. And then the Wands, the Queen of Wands, she's all about inner passion, inner desire, inner motivation, right? That drive, both inners, both queens. And then we have this like initiation, first step of like a conversation that's on fire in a defensive way. So that was kind of like the polarity. It's like that drive with this Ace of Swords, that like fiery drive and initiating like that action, that the person who takes this, like takes it and does something, like let's move, let's do things, like passion, right? Action. And it's all on fire. And then we have like this like defensive holding on and just in a like survival mode state. It's literally the opposite of these two. So this is why they're displaying this, because they've been suppressing this and worry about it. But at this time, that's exactly how things actually unfold for the better of both of you right now. So that just clarifies for me that this is definitely your partner up here with this King of Swords in the reverse, or excuse me, the Knight of Swords in the reverse. It's like they come at you and they wanna initiate this change, because Knights want to make things, they want to shift energy. They want to come in and sway a change. like initiate, like, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's go here. Let's do that. With the swords, it's like communication and talking, and movement. And like, they want to do that, but because they were holding on so hard and like being so defensive and let it pent up so hard before it came out upside down. So it's like a wanting to initiate that change, but they weren't able to somehow do it without letting it pent up to the state where they come off all defensive to you. So it's like, but again, this is all good. So maybe it was a lesson for both of you. And, you know, that makes me think as well that this really could be like a twin flame, because, you know, if number one, you have a soul contract with this person, that's, you know, an indicator in and of itself. Not necessarily, but like, you know, sometimes you have people that you are supposed to be with, you know, not forever, but sometimes. And there's lessons there, and once you learn them, then you move on to something else. But this one, you guys are growing together here. There wasn't just a lesson to learn it. Like, there's lessons to learn. It's like paving a structure for you guys. And there's progress of, you guys are tuning into each other. Like, even though it came out kind of negative, and it probably didn't feel good, because nobody goes into the hermit state because they feel amazing. They go into the hermit state because something upsets them enough and they want to act in alignment or find out some inner knowing. And so they go into that because of, it's like a reactive state. So, you know, you typically, when you feel amazing, you don't feel the need to do that, right? So, hey, that's what needed to happen in order to get this soul contract done, and it was perfect. So this is looking good so far, Cancer. I want to clarify this King of Swords in the upright here for your like love interest. I want to see if that's this energy turning around once this toxicity fades out. What is going on with this King of Swords? What more can I know about what's going on with this King of Swords for Cancer's love interest? Why is it next to the Empress? Okay, so we got 9 of Cups. So this is wish fulfillment. Okay? Wish fulfillment. He is a genie above all these bottles, and he's like, oh my gosh, what do I want? I've done this. I did this. Wish fulfillment. Okay, emotional wish fulfillment. And it's like, they're like enjoying what you've taught them. And 5 of Wands. So it's like wish fulfillment, end of conflict, end of, it came out in the reverse. Here's in the upright. It's like ending and a fading out of wants this, and it's right below this row, the Devil in reverse, the fading out toxicity. It's like these guys are arguing, fighting, and competing, even though they're doing the same thing for the same goal. It's like one team fighting each other instead of trying to make a goal. So, you know, it's like that's fading out because of wish fulfillment. So however you react or whatever you find when you go in that hermit mode, and however you manage to dissolve that toxicity, this is like gold, because this fulfills their wish. This teaches them, helps them grow with you, helps them tune into you. And also it fulfills a wish fulfillment of getting on the same page together, feeling an alignment with each other, tuning in, like learning from, like really like that rest, like being receptive and understanding something without it actually being intentional. Like I said, it's not like a direct thing. They're observing how it felt from their side of this whole thing, like wish fulfillment to them. They don't feel like, because they've learned this and this whole thing kind of unfolded this way unexpectedly, it unexpectedly fulfills a wish for them to get on the same page and end conflict, end fighting, get on the same team, be in unison. I want to put one more for the Empress. Death in reverse. So it's like this was something that they thought would end. It's not ending. And I think you really surprised your partner here, Cancer, in April. I really do. I feel that before I even pulled the rest of the second roll, the defensiveness that changes into empowerment and knowing what you want and how to get it and feeling good about it and teaching them to become from this Knight of Swords in reverse not only turning it up right, but now he's the king. So he's leveled up and he's gotten in alignment just by being with you and observing your growth. So that's awesome. Bravo. I like it. I like it a lot. And then not only that, but now instead of this earthy energy of defensiveness, it's like the Empress she's good. She figured it out. She's calm now. She knows how to manifest what she wants in this real world. And she knows just how to make that happen, or who to go to make that happen, right? But she manifests that. She solidifies it into, she pulls abstract into a more like grounded and easy to understand thing so that it can be solidified in a tangible way. And she feels good and she's peaceful. And that's a heck of a lot better than this Ace of Swords on fire with this defensive feeling, right? Really good. I want to do, let's do, hold on 1 second. I want to pull one from the 78 Astral. And I want to do your part of the spread here. What is this devil in the reverse? What's this toxic energy that's fading out that needed to happen for Cancer in April 2019? What more information can I know about this devil in reverse for Cancer in love? All right, the Hanged Man. All right, because you were able to go into this Hermit, then you felt able to, you know, center yourself. You were able to take a look at both sides of things and make a logical decision of how to react and how to go forward, and it domino effects through your whole partnership. It's good. Man, I feel like a lot of people work for a really long time to have that kind of thing happen, and it doesn't even seem like you realized it was happening, or they did. They came at this a whole different way, probably expecting you to fight back with them or be triggered or upset. I don't think that they wanted to do that. I think that they were just so pent up about it that it came out all at once, fiery and upset, and I don't think that you expected that or even thought that by you doing what you're doing here and however you handle this by going into the Hermit and the Hangman, however you do that, I don't think you even expected for that, let alone how it would affect your partner. It like diffuses the bomb and it turns everything into a level up. We go from the Knight of Swords reversed to the King of Swords upright. We go from this defensive state of wanting to communicate on fire, and then we have like the devil in reverse with the World. It's like toxic energy fades out and you complete a soul contract. It's great. I mean, wish fulfillment, getting on the same page. I mean, this is good stuff. It's like by not letting things crumble in a really intense way with that death in the reverse on top of the Empress, it's like your partner isn't losing their stability in this, they're gaining it. They're getting more confident, they're better, they're more in alignment to manifest because of you and whatever this situation is. So that's really cool. I like that. I want to do one more from this deck. Let's just do an advice card here for Cancer and their love interest. Which information do they need to hear the most right now? And what advice can they hear to help them and their partner the most at this time, and maybe even after this whole thing gets resolved for April 2019. Cancer and love. Advice to end on. don't know why, I just feel like I need to pull one more. That was weird. A little too weird. Normally I wouldn't take that, but okay, I just fell out too perfectly after I said that. So we have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Okay, that's weird because we had those two queens come out in the other deck. So here is in this one. So Queen of Wands, remember the passionate, feeling very motivated, feeling very confident, feeling very passionate, creative, and inspired. And then we have the Queen of Cups. So now, not only that, but you're able to be affectionate, be compassionate. You were able to just fuse this bomb into growth on both ends, complete a soul contract, and help your partner as well, and get you guys in alignment energetically together, just in the partnership too, and then also be in alignment with emotions. So like, it was the Queen of Pentacles too, like that inner security, but now it's also just feeling that emotional alignment, feeling an open like line of communication, like both of you can express yourself emotionally, like you guys both feel like it will be received, and that you can also express as well, and you can also receive theirs. Like it's a give and take. This is awesome. Feeling very confident that you guys can emotionally support each other. Like you feel confident that they will actually consider your emotions and really receive that information, and you as well. So this is awesome. Like feeling confident in that and inspired. It's like this new spark after all of this development here, which comes off starting like a bad thing. It's gonna feel like a bad thing enough to set you aside into this. So just be prepared for that. But like I said before, even without this reading, like anything that's hard is a lesson. Otherwise it wouldn't be happening, right? And especially if it's a familiar cycle, like there's something here and you're seeing this, you're stopping it, you're getting at it before it's too late this time, because you're going to have success here. And it's inspiring this partnership and your growth. You guys are going to have passion, and it's going to like relight a new flame and on a new level, emotionally and passionately. So I hope that helps you. I mean, this was an awesome reading. I think you guys are going to have a really good April. It might start out not feeling that way, but just remember that when this happens, and I think you already will. I mean, the way that things are going so far, if the energies persist the way they are now, this is going to be an awesome month for you, Cancer. So yeah, thanks for liking, and please leave in the comments below if this resonated. It'd be interesting to hear. And yeah, I will see you soon. Thanks.